All right, so back to our coordinates. Coordinate 1, coordinate 2, coordinate 3, coordinate 4. Now, it's really easy to kind of tell if you know the quadrants where our ordered pair is going to be. I already knew that 2, -5 was going to be in this quadrant. How? Because each quadrant has a kind of special position where these numbers are going to be. So in coordinate 1, it's the ordered pairs that can only go here are a positive and a positive number. Now, why do you ask? Well, because if we look at this, say we have an ordered pair of 1, 3. I have a positive 1, so I'm going to go on my x-axis. I'm going to go to 1, and then I have a positive 3. So I'm going to go to the right 1, and then go up 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be my point, 1, 3. And look, I know that it's going to fit here because these are both positive, because going to the right is positive and going up is positive, so it'll never kind of be anywhere else. This is kind of our way to double check. So coordinate 1 are both positive numbers on the x and y coordinates. Okay. Now quadrant 2. Let's see if you guys can start figuring out the pattern. Quadrant 2 has a negative in the x-axis and a positive in the y-axis. Because let's look at this. Now, -8, 2. I look at my coordinate. My first number is a negative, which is my x, -8. So I'm going to go to my x-axis. I'm going to go to the left 8, and I'm going up 2. 1, 2. And I'm going to plot my point. And this is -8, 2. It's always going to be here because my x-axis is negative, my y-axis is positive, so I'm moving up to the left and up. Okay. Now, go on to quadrant 3. Let's see if you guys can figure this one. Okay. By understanding kind of where the x and y are. Okay. What do you guys think quadrant 3 is going to be? Okay. If you guess negative, negative, you're correct. Okay. Here we go. Let's do an example. -5, -4. So my x-axis is -5, and then so I'm going to go to the left 5 to the negative, and I'm going to go down -4 because that's where the negatives are. So -5, -4. I'm going to plot my point, and then I'm going to put it. So these are both negatives, so they're both going to stay in this area right here. Okay. Quadrant 4. Okay. You guys should be getting it now. We have a positive and a negative here. So let's do our example. Let's do 3, -1. Opposite of kind of this one a little bit. So we're going to do 3, -1. So I'm going to start with 3 positive on my x. 1, 2, 3 positive. Then I'm going to go 1 negative. So I'm going to go down 1 on my negative. And here's my point. 3, -1. Okay, so that's us looking at the 4 different quadrants. Okay, then if we kind of double check it where we plotted A, which was 2, -5, look, it matches our rule where anything in quadrant 4 has to be a positive x and a negative y. Okay, so that's kind of our coordinate plane and what we're going to be using now. So now what I want to do is I want to take a few ordered pairs, and I want to see if you are able to find them here. So let me go over this really quick again. So quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Okay, I'm going to highlight those, just kind of make it a little bit clearer. If you want to stop and highlight them as well, more than welcome to. But remember, these are also in your notes, okay? Like I said, if you forget where's 1, where's 2, where's 3, where's 4, you have your little study guide here, okay? And you can start from here. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. You can kind of go into a circle to make a C for coordinate plane. And that's kind of a little trick to help you guys out. All right. So now that we kind of know where our ordered pairs are, we are going to plot a couple points. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys points B, C, and D since we already have A, and I want you guys to find them on our coordinate plane. So I'm going to give you guys the points. So I have my points -4, 2, -1, -7, and then 5, 5. Okay, so now what I can do is I can take these points and I want you to plot them onto our coordinate plane. Well, okay, so if I know my rules, I can find that pretty easily. Okay, well, this one is a negative and this one is a positive. So if this is my x and this is my y, I'm going to start on this. I'm going to go to -4, which is -1, -2, -3, -4, and I'm going to go +2, which is 1, 2. So here's my point, and I'm going to label it B because this is what it says here. It's B. So I'm going to go to this point, and I'm going to label it B. All right? And what quadrant is that in? That's right, quadrant 2. 1, 2. All right, let's plot point C, which is -1, -7. So I'm going to go to the negative on my x. This is -1. And I'm going to go -7, which is down on my y-axis. -5, 6, and then -7. All right. So -7 is there. And I'm going to plot my point, which is C. Okay? So I don't need to put the coordinate plane now, because if I plot this point, I already know that it's -1, -7. It's easy for me to see. The last point, B, okay, I have 5 and 5, and I know because they don't have a negative sign in front of them, I know that they're both positive. So I'm going to go +5 on my x-axis, +5 on my y-axis, okay, plot my point, and so now that I've plotted all my points, what we really want to use our coordinate plane is not just for plotting points, but now that we have these points A, B, C, D, and these other points that we've done here, what we want to do is we want to kind of compare them to each other. We want to look at how they are the same and how they are in position to one another. So if we look at coordinate A and coordinate D, we can kind of look at as a compass rose. Okay, you guys have seen compasses in history and in my class. Okay, we have north, south, east, west. And this is kind of pretty much what this is, right? So if we have north, south, east, west, we are looking at the position of A and D. So comparing A and D, we can tell that D is to the north, which is up, east of A. So D, compared to this, is to the northeast. And then we can also kind of look at it as traveling. If we're looking at how far the distance is between these two, we can kind of count the steps, right? A lot of times they use these coordinates as not just for numbers, but these numbers represent miles. So pretend this was how many miles is this from this, okay? But what we could do is we could count the number of miles it is from here to here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 miles north, which is up, and 1, 2, 3, 3 miles east. So 10 miles north, 3 miles east compared to this one.